trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change.
Hello, good evening everyone. It is Sunday, April 30th, 2023, and we're going to do some live coding tonight, but what exactly will I be coding? I have no idea. Good evening. We have Brenda, we have Quandals and in chat. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you're doing well tonight. What's going on? What should we work on? I have no idea. So, you may already know this, but we have a Kaggle competition that I've been hosting here on this channel that ends tomorrow. Now, personally, I had been also working on a Kaggle competition that was about sign language detection. And that one we also worked on this stream when it first was launched. I think we looked at the first or second day it was launched. The link to that one is here. So I put the link to both in the chat. That's right here. You see it? You can click on the screen. No, that doesn't work. You got to click in the actual chat to get to it. But so the first one is over. Or sorry, both of them happen to end tomorrow. So since they're going to be over soon, I'm excited for the next stream because we'll be able to read some of the top solutions, see what people did with my health data that I provided out there, so that people could predict my sleep and we can see what solutions everyone came up with. Now for the GPUs I'm giving away, if you see back there, we have a 4080 and a 3080 Ti NVIDIA GPUs that we're giving away. The big one goes to the winner of that competition. The smaller one, which still is a pretty nice GPU, better than the GPUs I have in my machine, I'm going to be giving away to one of the people who competed in that competition just randomly. So we're going to have to, on stream, next stream, download that list and then write some code that will randomly select the winner. Or maybe I was thinking we could randomly take away people and see who ends up being the last person standing in that. We have someone from Bolivian chat. I love Hawaiian pizza, but my partner hates it. Oh, Hawaiian pizza is great. But it's okay. People have different tastes. I understand why your partner might not like it. What else do we have in the chat here? Good morning from Indonesia. Nice. How's it going there? I love that most people are watching me in their morning time when it's my nighttime. Filter bad lines from CSV and pandas, but save the bad lines instead of just skipping over. Ooh, okay. Steven, can you give me an example of that? Give me an example of that code, and then I'll take a looky. Let's get this up though. Let's actually show you guys the competition we've been working on. Get this up. So yeah, we have this competition that's been going on. This is the 4080 that we're going to be giving away. If you wanted that, you probably needed to join a while ago. But if you want a chance of winning the other GPU, I guess you could still join now. We have 170 teams. You needed to have attended a GTC session, NVIDIA GTC, which was last month, using this link, which I don't think even works anymore. I guess it still brings you somewhere. So The leaderboard here we have, obviously this is the public leaderboard. So this is not necessarily what it's going to look like after the competition is over, but you could see that there's some people separating themselves from the pack on the public leaderboard. So this closes in, a little less than 24 hours. I hope you all are excited. And now the other competition that I had been working on is this one. It's a sign language competition. We had been looking at this in a few different streams. One of the streams we actually created some code to actually capture my own motions, and then we used media pipe to extract the landmarks in hands, face, and pose in order to feed into this model. But this competition is for trying to predict an algorithm using TensorFlow Lite to predict sign language. Now, I had hoped to do a little bit better. I'm currently on the public leaderboard in 21st place out of 1,170 teams. So just 1,000 more than our competition. But I guess I could get lucky. I still have a few submissions to go, and then we'll see what happens. Hat Knight's in chat. What's up, Hat Knight? I'm a beginner Kaggler. How long do you recommend I stay on the playground series before moving to real competitions? I'd suggest moving over as soon as you get the mechanics of how Kaggle works. Just move over as fast as possible. I was hoping to do a sentiment analysis on the data set above, but since it's so big, I'm having issues running it. What data set? Rio de Janeiro's in the chat. What's up? Your new follower from India. Loved your content. Hope to learn more. Nice. Thank you for watching, RJ. What has changed on Kaggle over the last 10 years? A lot has changed on Kaggle over the last 10 years. I haven't even been on Kaggle for 10 years. I joined 7 years ago, I think, because I had to join for one of my classes. But I actually started doing stuff on Kaggle maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Probably more like 4 years now. So I can speak to what's changed in that amount of time. And I'd say the main thing is that tabular competitions, like where you have transaction data or you have like the Titanic data set, which, by the way, my great uncle is in the Titanic data set. Yes, spoiler alert, he did die. But that's kind of weird to throw out as a spoiler alert. A little late on that. But what was I talking about? Oh yeah, tabular competitions are no longer really a thing on Kaggle, because I don't want to say the problem has been solved, but things have moved a lot more to deep learning. And if you wanted to be competitive on Kaggle 5 years ago, you needed to be really good at XGBoost, Light GBM, stacking, all that stuff. And there also are a lot of tricks that people use on Kaggle back in those days when there were not asynchronous competitions, where there were not, they basically gave you all the test set and you just had to predict on the test set. Those tricks don't work anymore when you have code competitions. I'd say also Kaggle has moved a lot more towards obviously deep learning, which means like signal data, image data, video data, that sort of stuff. But on top of that, they've also started making more competitions where you actually have to care about how fast your code runs. So most of the recent competitions that I've seen, if you want to be successful on it, you need to be able to cram as much as you can into the time limitation that they put on there. And it becomes more of an engineering problem, really, than a data science problem, but still very interesting and very hard to get those last little bits of, boost out of your model just from the runtime perspective. Do you know recursive feature elimination? Yeah, so there's this package called for feature elimination. Amit is one of the best Kagglers out there, and he created this. Did they make a new logo? Yeah, this is his, because that's his icon. But I'll send you this. This is a recursive feature elimination package in Python that's extremely good. He's used it to win or to place well in many Kaggle competitions. I haven't honestly used it as much as I should. But essentially, that's all it is you give it a model with all the features. Here, let's see how he does it. So this is like a k-fold cross-validation. And then he has LOFO importance. So that's leave one feature out importance. And what he does is trains a model with one feature removed, and then trains it again and again and again, and evaluates the results. And then you can see here, you take the importance of when you remove that feature, and you can kind of tell this is a better way than necessarily using like GBM or XGBoost feature importance, which can be a little bit misleading. I guess this could also be affected by highly correlated features, but you probably want to remove those first. Anyways, this helps you prune out a lot of features that are not necessarily giving your model any improvement. And when you feed in these noisy features, they can really negatively impact your model if you leave them in. So leave one feature out importance is a pretty cool thing to use. I don't know what LOFO is. Oh, fast leave one feature out. So this does pseudo random permutation on the values of each feature one by one. That's kind of cool. So I was actually trying to do something like this in the recent Kaggle competition, because I was trying to see if I just switched out one of my features in my model or in my validation set for noise, would it negatively affect the predictions? For most of the cases, it was yes, but that could be because the model requires them to be stable. I don't know. Rob, greetings from Peru. I'm a big fan. Hey, thanks, Jose. Appreciate you being here tonight. Check out ARFs for feature engineering. Insanely good stuff. Suggest me any book for time series data? Not necessarily a book. I'd have to think about that. Okay, ARFs, feature engineering. All relevant feature selection. I've never seen this one. All relevant feature selection means trying and find all features carrying information usable for the prediction rather than finding a possibly compact subset of features which some particular model has minimal error. This might include redundant predictors. I guess these are all trying to get at the same problem, which is very common in machine learning, because it's very easy to kind of just create as many features as humanly possible and then throw them at a machine learning model and expect it to do well. But actually, you can be hurting yourself by doing that sometimes. It really depends, but on the model, I'd say, and the data set. But noisy features typically are not going to help. So this is a cool one. I'll star this. Give that a star. Can you do an NBA playoff prediction? I'd be pretty bad at that. That's a good idea, though. I don't have the data on hand to really do anything like that. And it's going on right now, right? I'm already losing. The bot commands for this channel are available. What is this? Do you have any YouTube videos doing Kaggle competition or exercises? So I have a lot of streams where I've gone through Kaggle competitions. That's like, there are a bunch of them. If you look on my Twitch page or if you look on my YouTube live tab. So if we go to Ramola, this is my link, by the way. If you're not following me on YouTube, please do. And then you go to live. You see a bunch here. Like this is the one where I did on the sign language detection. This was the neutrinos ice competition that I went through. What else? Yeah, I guess those are the main ones. But we've done a lot of Kaggle stuff here. Would you suggest someone new to deep learning to start with Keras or Pytorch? I don't think it matters that much anymore. I think you could probably start with either and be fine. The hard thing about Pytorch is it really depends on... It really puts the... puts a lot of the work in your hands to write the validation loop. It's not as easy as like a fit predict that you might have in Keras with like a sequential model that you just built or one that you grab off the shelf. But it's not that bad. And then in Pytorch, you have a lot more flexibility. And really a lot of the open source models that are being released these days are Pytorch. So you might just want to stick with those. Start with that. Yeah, Pytorch Lightning helps make things easier. So out of the fact that Pytorch has so much boilerplate that you have to write every time you write your loop. I mean, you can just copy paste it. But things like Pytorch Lightning have come out of the fact that there is no like Keras equivalent to TensorFlow that was built in-house. But Pytorch Lightning kind of does that. It takes care of all this training step, validation step of the loop, and then also logging and metrics and that sort of stuff. It makes it a lot easier with Pytorch. So if you are doing Pytorch, you might want to start here. But really, I think if you're going to learn Pytorch, you want to at least write that loop the first time, like the computing losses, then performing back propagation, updating the weights, stuff like that. You do it once and then you can move on to something. I'd say really the main thing you need to learn if you're going to make a custom deep learning model, or if you're going to try to create them, is to learn how to manipulate tensors or arrays. So like learning how to connect the different pieces of the puzzle to make the model work for whatever task you're trying to solve. So that might mean reshaping tensors before you feed them into a different layer, or having to squeeze out a dimension so you can concatenate layers, or what else? Like transposing the array or the tensor so that your channels might be at the end, and then you need to move them to the beginning to feed them into a different part of the layers. But it's hard to explain. I should make a video about it. I don't have that many videos on tabular competitions. I would say swapped. You should check out all my videos. What else can I say? Just watch them all. Then report back to me which one's the best. You just need to start. What advice do you have for someone looking to start a career in data science after doing a master's program in data science? Well, if you've already done a master's in data science and you're coming to me then why did you pay those people for your masters? No, I'm just kidding. It can be really tough to actually jump into it. I'd say just start to build a resume that makes yourself jump out from the other candidates. And then really, once you get that first job, it's like you have that on your resume as data scientist, and then you can kind of pivot over into whatever area you want to be in. Hey, Rob, what's up, Rocker? Or R. Crocker? I don't know what your name is. Bassett, thanks. Should we use a laptop or use AWS EC2 to train models for competition? You don't really need to use either. You can use a Kaggle notebook. So let's go here and look at a competition. Let's look at it. Okay, so people are asking about tabular competitions. Maybe that's what we can look at here. So there are, shoot, it's the last day of the month. So this competition is almost over. It would be great if it was tomorrow, because then there'd be a new tabular competition we can look into. But let's just say that we wanted to join this competition, even though there's only one day left. What would we do? We'd go here to the competition page. I'm going to turn this dark mode off. So this is what it would look like if you went to the page. There's a tabular competition every month they put on like this. That's a playground series. You can see up here, it's a playground series. What does that mean? Playground means that you're not with the big boys and girls yet. You're playing just for fun. If you go to the leaderboard page, you'll see that there's no gold or silver or bronze here on the left side. That means that you're not actually competing for Kaggle points, like these fake points that like cause your tier to go up or down. But that doesn't really matter when you're first starting. So it's a good place to get started. So what you do here is you read all this, but then if you're wanting to train a model, most of the time, if you join these competitions, you can train the model in a Kaggle notebook. You don't even need to download the data yourself. Now, if you wanted to, you can download this data. This data set is very small, but if you just want to create a notebook, you click here on create a notebook. I feel like I'm just advertising for Kaggle right now. I 100% agree with you, what you said. I'm a hiring manager for data science at a Fortune 500 company. There's so many masters in data science that apply for every position I post. They're almost auto reject because all the PhDs and people with job experience that apply. You got to stand out. Yeah, standing out is good, but that's kind of crazy. Things have changed in 3 years since when I got my master's, because I felt like I stood out just having that. Maybe I just got lucky. But yeah, I guess masters in data science have gotten more common. All right, I don't even know what this data set is, but we're going to turn on this dark mode and we're going to show how you can just do this in the notebook, right? So we have this train. We have a test. Ooh, this is really small. Tabular EDA on the last day. I should have done this earlier. Right? So we can load in our main packages, which are NumPy and Pandas. We can also import matplotlib. Probably going to need Seaborn. Panandas. Can I rewatch this video after live? Yeah, if YouTube doesn't take it down because of the music I'm listening to, a lot of the times I'm just listening to this mix on YouTube that's copyright free. But last time I tried to listen to some music I liked, and YouTube was like, no, copyright infringement. Took my video down. But yeah. All right, so we can read in this training data. Usually we read in train, test, and sample submission. So let's just call this train, test, sample submission. Having a hard time typing tonight. All right, so we can print out the shapes. Of this data. All right, so it's very, very, very small data. 707 rows in our training set. So let's get this and look and see what our target is. And we might actually need to go to... We might need to go to the page to read about this. So this is a synthetically generated data set. Submissions will be evaluated on MPA at 3, mean average precision at 3. Where U is the number of images, PK is the precision, and cutoff. This is typically used in like object detection, right? Oh, I guess it's widely used in recommender systems. So what are we trying to do here? The data set in this competition, both train and test, was generated from a deep learning model trained on vector-borne disease prediction data set. Featured distributions are close to, but not exactly the same as original. Feel free to use the original data set as part of this competition, both to explore the differences. Note the original data set has some prognoses, contained spaces, but in this competition... All right, so prognosis is the target. That's the main thing we were looking for right there. So we can like do a value count on this and see out of this 707 training examples. All right, so we're going to look at a plot of the top targets in the training data set. Let's do this. Let's sort index. No, let's go back to sort values. Ascending equals true. Okay, so now West Nile fever is the top. Japanese encephalitis. 3 is the most important part. I guess doctors are okay with getting the correct diagnosis, okay? Can the music be turned down some? It's hard to focus on what you're saying. Yeah, I didn't realize the music was that loud. I'm sorry. I will turn it way down. Way down. Encephalitis. I hope that's right. All right, so I don't know if we want to actually look at this, but because, like I said, this competition is almost over. There's 66 features. It looks like they're all floats, but look, this like sudden fever, as type int. Yeah, all of these are actually it looks like. Let me know if this isn't fun for you guys. We can do something else. It's brain swelling. Oof, I don't want that. Yeah, so it looks like all of these could be probably cast as a bool, as type bool. Not boot. Not boot. Bool. Yeah, so all these are basically true and false, even though they're ones and zeros. Then what could I do? All right, so what we probably want to do is pull these features out and just make a list called features. Cast this as a bool into the training data set. And then we probably want to group by the prognosis and just take the average of all of these. So ID we don't care about. But the rest of them we kind of care about because it tells us which of these features is associated with each of those. I don't know. It could be if we think that they're like a linear relationship between these features and our target. So we could make this into a heat map. I don't know if this is going to look good at all. That's kind of cool. We could set the title of average feature value per target. Also do this show. So you could see how each feature kind of relates to each disease. This is actually very interesting. I didn't expect it to kind of look like a histogram like here. Comfy. Hey, could you try RFHE from sklearn and see how it goes? Which are random forest E? What's RFE? This is all fun. Okay, you guys are having fun. That's good to know. Any all T or F? Yeah, so that's a good question. That's a good question, Arnie. I like that question up here, right above here. Let's look at that next. This is target versus features. Another way we could look at this is like taking the training data and we group by, let's say, features, like this first feature. And then we take target value counts. Oh, target, we don't know the name. Target is probably better to do this, so we don't have to remember what the target is. It's the prognosis. Right? And then we can unstack this. I don't know if this is going to look good at all. And I also don't know what the autocomplete on this is doing. That's pretty gross. What am I even doing here? I'm grouping by this feature. Yeah, it's kind of hard with multi-class classification. Like we could group by this target. Maybe a better thing to do would be to group by the target, which again we named target, and then taking the first features but a density plot is kind of hard. No numeric data to plot. That's because we made this as type float. Yeah, this is kind of shows us what the heat map already showed. It's hard to visualize like binary things very well because you can't do with numeric values. You can do a lot of these regression kind of plots that look pretty, but when they're binary, it's kind of hard. We can do TSNE for dimensionality reduction for visualization. We can. TSNE I've always found to be a little bit misleading and not super helpful. It's definitely a cool thing to throw up in a slide, like in a PowerPoint slide. But as far as helping me make a better model, there's so many parameters you can adjust to make it kind of look more dense or less dense, and it's kind of just for visualization. It's like art. They're asking you to use a rec system metric, and it's almost like a rec system data. Sparse matrix with many classes to predict. You can treat it like a disease recommender based on their symptoms. Okay. Should we do this? Should we do this? Go to GPT-4. Wait. I have a data set of 707 cases. Oh shoot, I need more music. Where'd my music go? Where'd my music go? I feel so exposed. No music. Come on, no copyright music. Where are you? All right, there we go. I have a data set of 700 cases of diseases, cases where I'm trying to predict the prognosis. Types of prognosis are it's kind of nice. It makes us like think through the problem just to write it out to ChatGPT, even if the solution isn't going to be helpful. Let's do this. And features are binary. Can you create code for a cross-validated model that optimizes for map at 3 metric? Use Python. Ideally use a boosted tree model. Like GBM. This is why our jobs are going in the bucket, down the toilet. Because This can do it for us. Has ChatGPT ever given you good enough code? Man, in this Kaggle competition I've been doing, I want to talk so much about it, but it ends tomorrow. But this, not to jump around too much, but I was talking earlier about how I personally have been competing in this one about sign language detection. This is kind of why I haven't been streaming that much this month, because most nights I've been thinking about this problem. Currently 21st. But the sort of stuff that ChatGPT has helped me out with in this competition were things like, I have this Keras layer that I've written. Modify it so that it'll work in a batch. Like I've written this to work in a single example, but I want it to work in a batch. Can you rewrite it to do that? And it can do that stuff. Or I want to compute the angle between 3 points for a X by X matrix against an X by X matrix in batches. Write that for me. And then it usually doesn't work at the start, but it definitely gave me some ideas or some places to go with it. So ChatGPT has been very helpful for that. And then not only that, there was one thing that it just did right out of the box. Oh, I wanted to do a custom loss function where I gave certain pairs of targets less of a loss than others. So, I mean, this competition's almost over, so I feel like I can talk about it more freely. But let's say like the sign for sleep or nap. The signs almost look exactly the same. So I didn't want to have the model penalize if it thought that it was nap and the sign was actually sleep, because both of those in American Sign Language look almost identical. So I wrote a custom loss function to do that, and I had to provide it the pairs. And I just wrote out the description of what I wanted it to look like, and ChatGPT did it for me, and it was awesome. So yeah, ChatGPT has been helpful. Where are we? Where'd you guys go? I used GPT-4. It gave me a lot of good code, and you don't have to overload it. Complexity, clarify what you're... Yeah, so part of the reason why I just paid for this pro version where we can use GPT-4 is because of the success I had this past month. I only signed up for it like a few days ago. I'm a high schooler hoping to get into data science and machine learning career. Any advice? Well, AD, you are way ahead of me, because it took me like 15 years after high school to realize what I wanted to do with my life. But the fact that you know what you want this early is great. You're going to be great, do great. Just learn a little bit every day and just try to learn how to code first, is what I'd say. Don't get overloaded with the math stuff. Try to make it like a game. Whatever can give you that kind of reward by actually achieving a goal. Do a little bit of projects every day that you actually feel like you've achieved something. And in the long term, you're going to be really happy with the results. That's my suggestion to you as a high schooler. But great having high schoolers in here trying to learn data science. That's awesome. All right, let's use ChatGPT's output. Also, just write everything into ChatGPT and then I'll do it for you. That's my other suggestion. Just kidding. All right, so this is going to be train. Let's see what it's doing here. Label encoder. Label ranking average precision score. Oh, so is that this score? So it's label encoding the target. This is just a map A3. It's creating a score. Greater is better. Needs probability. All right. It looks like it broke halfway through this, didn't it? It just stopped writing there. ChatGPT doesn't know newer models in architecture yet. But yeah, it doesn't. Only low-end data. I don't think ChatGPT is gonna take away anyone's job. It's just gonna enhance the people who know how to use it well. It's basically like people who are coders are really good at searching up documentation, reading Stack Overflow. It's a big meme and joke that all you do all day is just look at Stack Overflow, but it kind of is like we work together as people who code. And that's a really important skill, is my point. Oh, so XGBoost has a label encoding. So it's interesting that it actually switched up 100% what it suggested. Invalid classes inferred from unique values of Y. So should I search this? Should I tell ChatGPT this? Or should I think I know how to fix this. Yeah, let's see what ChatGPT says. So it says I can use label encoder. See, this is the other thing. It's you kind of learn what ChatGPT is stupid with. Like, yeah, you can use label encoder like this. But you also just set this use label encoder to be false here. What if we what if I set that to be true? Oh, probably because label encoder was removed in version 1.6. Well, then why did it even have it there as forced to false? See, this is stupid. That being said, we do have to do this. So I am stupid. Both things can be true. Label encoder is not defined because I did not import it. Because I'm just a code monkey junkie. Okay. Our model is training, or so I hear. How often do you go live? I think there's a lot of value in it. Thank you. I appreciate it if you think there's value in it. Hopefully, I'll be doing a lot more soon. The fact that I was doing that Kaggle competition really ate into my free time. But yeah, Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. When I'm really feeling it, I'm doing Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays in a full week. But most of the time, it's like 1 or 2 of those a week. And it's kind of random. What are the pros and cons between Jupyter and coding directly in Kaggle? So when you're coding in Jupyter, you're on your own machine. So for instance, on my own machine, like I have GPUs that I can use. I don't have to worry about the notebook being shut down at all. It's just always up and running. I can kind of pre-process data and put it different places on my machine. I have a lot of storage space. I don't have to worry about running into the GPU limitation that they have on Kaggle. But for small stuff, it works fine. Also, like you might have noticed this, but when I'm typing here, it just doesn't have the same feel as when I'm using Jupyter locally. All right, so now we have our model. So we should just be able to predict on test features. cross-val score. This is something new in sklearn. Is there like a return estimator? All right, so I guess we have to do model that fit on X, Y at the end of all this. So this is like our cross-validated score, but then we can train on the entire data set, and then we can predict on our test data set. Features shape difference. That's no bueno. $64 in our training set. Oh, that's because this included the ID. So actually we should have done this. Let's see if this changes the score. So what we did here, ChatGPT's code was fine, but it didn't realize that there's this ID column, which I guess in theory should have no information that's valuable to our target, unless we think it like there's some sort of data leak in there, but I don't. So I'm going to change this line of code to do features. Let's see if it changes the score from 5.7, 5.6. By the way, what's the leaderboard look like in this competition? What's the leaderboard? 4.5. So I'm guessing the test set. All right. So yeah, look, our score did go up a little bit on cross validation when we removed that feature, which wasn't helpful. So that's like the sort of situation where leaving one feature out should help things. All right. So now let's do our final fit and predict. Now these are predicted label encoded values. What do we call label encoding here? We called it LE. And then we can do inverse transform on Y. Oh, that's cool. These are new features to sklearn that honestly I haven't used in a while. So here's the thing. In our sample submission, we can submit up to 3 targets. So we actually want our top 3. How do I create a model that will produce the top 3 predictions for each value in a test set? This code only predicts the top value. We basically want like the pre-argmax All right, so it's going to do it differently now. Remember, we can't just do this drop prognosis. That won't work because there are more than just those features. We could do drop prognosis and index. Oh, okay. So I think I could just, I think the long answer is this. Yeah, the long answer was that, but the short answer is just using predict proba. That'll predict the probabilities. I think, yeah. So now this result will be the shape. Why 11? Oh, because there's 11 unique targets, right? Yeah. So we know how to do this ourselves, right? We don't need to use the ChatGPT answer, but let's just try it and then see. Then we'll end up using ChatGPT anyway. So basically, the number of unique labels are 11, And what this is giving us when we do predict probability is for the test set. Now we have for each, remember this is 303 examples and 11 predictions. We have, for each of these 11, we have a prediction. So if I do like, what the heck is this doing? Right? So here, for the first example in the test set, and maybe we should do this on the training set. We really need to, in reality, we need to do this on like out of fold predictions, but I'm just going to do this as an example. On the training set, you could see that it's mainly predicting 3, which if we do inverse transform of 3, we should get Lyme disease. It's predicting Lyme disease, but it's also, the next one is 8. So it's also predicting West Nile fever and Zika. Kind of similar-ish. But let's go back to the test set. So if we do that on this test example, which we don't know the truth to. Oh, so for that first one, it was in fact, whatever number 3 was, Lyme disease. So that it was correct, but it was trained on that data, so it should get it correct. But for the test set, we actually want to provide these in order 6, 10, and 1, right? So basically, for every one of our test set examples, we have different predictions, and you can see it really depends. Like, okay, number 3, which is actually our 4th value in the test set. So if we go in this test set, it's this row. It's actually conflicted about should it predict 2, which again, if we use our inverse transform, well, basically we can show now we want to do inverse transform for this one of 2, 6, 10, because it looks like 10's in 3rd place. We want to submit all 3 of these. So Japanese, whatever that is, Rift Valley fever, and Zika in that order. So we can take argmax of these Y's, Y test, and axis equals 1. That would just give us the top value of each. Now, is there a way to do multiple ones? That's what I'm not sure about, and it looks like it already figured it out for us here. This arg sort. Yeah, so this arg sort will return the indices of the maximum values along any axis. So now it's actually sorted it so the top one is here. So if we go to same example I'm plotting below, you can see it's sorted into 3, 5, because it's starting at 1, I guess. Why is it starting at 3 and then 5? Can someone explain that to me? Let's catch up on the chat. Polars as data frame. Coding directly in Kaggle on their webpage sounds awful. It's actually not as bad as you'd think, Arnie. Kid is way ahead of us. I'm 38 and start school in June. Nice. Zebra car. You're in the right spot. I love it. ChatGPT, for those who were putting into the work already existed to facilitate so much, reduce the number of tabs in my browser significantly. Yeah. Yeah. I guess I'm in Jupyter versus Tabular Playground. Always go for a full feature IDE. Get good at that. You'll save so much time. Yeah, I do. I use VS Code when I'm doing like real coding. I can show you. This is This is like some of the training stuff that I've been doing for the Kaggle. Like it's kind of out of hand right now because it's at the very end of the competition. But yeah, that's where I'm really coding most. Never gonna give me up. Thank you. You can get better results by being more specific about the library inversion. Yeah, I probably should have. I watched SNS Scrape video and the library doesn't work currently. Yes, I need a... what do I do? Do I just remove that video? Because it doesn't work anymore. Or I got to make a new one, right? I'm working on my master's project while I'm listening to you. Network X is painful in the head. Oh, I've done some really cool stuff in Network X, though. One of my favorite YouTube videos I sound really conceited right now, but one of my favorite videos that I've created was this, is this prisoner's dilemma or this prisoner's problem. It's like a math riddle that's, I think, is really interesting. And there's a strategy where you can actually do really well in it. And I use Network X to kind of visualize that in this video. Check out this video, people. No one likes this video, but I do. So I'm going to put this in the chat. What is argmax? So argmax is basically like... It's finding the index location of the maximum value. So a lot of times in multi-class classification problems or just in classification problems, what the model's actually doing is it's predicting for target 1, here's the probability. For target 2, here's the probability. Like if you want to guess if an image is a cat, a dog, or a pig, it might say 0.1% it's a cat, 0.2 a pig, 0.9 a dog, or whatever. Then you're gonna, if you say argmax, it'll give you the location of the dog. I think I switched that order there, so it's kind of confusing, but hopefully that gives you the idea. And that's what we're visualizing here is the raw predicted output of the probabilities for each class. And then using argsort, we can take the top 3. So I think what we need to do is here, 3. This will give us the top 3. Can you give me a summary of what the problem is and what the solution is? How is it solved? What are you talking about? This is a Kaggle competition that we're just looking at. We only just started looking at it tonight, and it ends tomorrow, so. What's backwards? What's ascending? What time do you start streaming on these days? 9:30 usually is the time that I start Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to try to be better about streaming next month, guys. I'm going to be a lot better about it. So a lot of good things to come. Stick around. Stay with me. By the way, how many people are even watching this? I haven't looked at that number. Hey, we got like 40 people on Twitch and 50 in YouTube. Thanks for being here, everyone. Back to this. I am so confusing. Okay, so the reason why this didn't work is because you guys said it was backwards. So is it like this? Oh, because it's argsort. Maybe if I did order. I could either do order or I could just leave it how it is. And then I just do like this. This will give me the... So now if we go to the third example, 10, 6, and 2. 10, 6, and 2. That's right. Yeah, you guys are right. Argsort is giving me the ascending order. You're right. Oh, I could just do negative. Oh, doesn't the negative have to be in here? This is the sort of stuff that I'm saying, if you want to learn deep learning, you kind of have to have an understanding for this type of array syntax. Like if I took this Y test, we know the shape of it, and then we need to know, okay, so this is examples. The shape is examples by targets. And then we can do stuff like expand dims on Y test axis 1. Now we have a new shape here where there's like a 1 here. And then you might want to concatenate on that. Like that sort of stuff is what you need to... I was talking about that early. Hey all, I'm a video game design and narrative class and wanted to watch game design being done. What type of game are you making? I'm making no game at all. But you should stick around because we're having fun here. We're doing data science. We're doing data stuff. We're letting ChatGPT tell us how to do our jobs. Okay, so they did the negative here. So that was a good catch, people. You guys got my bat. This ain't video game. I think it's data science. You are right. But you are in the right place, though. Also, Gassy Gamer Girl. That is a legit username right there. Gassy Gamer Girl. That's not real. There's no way you're really a gassy gamer girl. That's like my wife, and I don't want to embarrass my wife talking about that stuff. I was going to say something she wouldn't want me to say. She doesn't watch this. It sure is. Where's my... Where the heck is my Twitch thing? My legit thing? Let's go to... How do I go to this thing? I'm so horrible at life. How do I do this? Gassy Gamer Girl. I need to look this up. Hey, Gassy Gamer Girl, if you just subscribe, that'll make it a lot easier for me to find your thing. No, I'm just kidding. That is just like such a straight... The 3 G's. Something about it just... it's just too good. What are you trying to predict classify? What type of classifier is used and why? These are all good questions. But if I just answered them every time someone asked, we would just be rehashing it. It's a Kaggle competition. Scroll up in the chat. I'm real, I swear. Okay. I don't believe you. I still don't believe you. All right, all this, and we have the top 3. We have the top 3. Then we can inverse transform on this. Will that just work? Nope. Nope, won't. So one thing we could do is... I could tell you the nasty way that I would do this that works with my nastiness. Okay, so this would be pred data frame. And then we can do the inverse transform on this each column. Look, this works. This works. It's not the best, but I'm sure ChatGPT would tell me a better way to do this. All right, what are we doing here? We're taking the top 3 predictions. We're making it into a pandas data frame because I love me some pandas data frames. And then we're using label encoder to inverse the numbers into the actual predicted value. So now we have pred df. And then the submission actually needs to be in this format, where you just join them into the prognosis column. So we basically need to take the test ID, add it to our prediction data frame ID here. And then we need to make a prognosis column, which is just basically going to be 0, 1, and 2. String join on a space. Is this going to work? Or we need to do axis is 1. I can't just do join. So I could do apply lambda. It's kind of a this is kind of really nasty way of doing it. This is how my nasty brain works. All these pluses, I could just make it an F string. That would be too nice. All right, this works. I'm just showing you how the real code is written so that then we can see how ChatGPT would do it and see how much better it does it. Basically, gave them lots of tools, 3 main tools. Oh, yeah, you guys are talking about game dev. Gassy Gamer Girl's taking over my chat. Gassy Gamer Girl comes in, all gassy. What kind of machine you use for streaming to 2 platforms? I just use Restream, the website, and I go through that, and then it goes to you guys. That's all I know. Let's ask ChatGPT how to do this. Where the heck is my ChatGPT window? Get back here. Can you take the result and create a pandas data frame with a prognosis column that has the inverse transform of these top 3 predictions for each sample with separated by a space. Let's see how it would do it. Certainly. I hate you, ChatGPT. How much better you are than me. Hey. Ads, I would call this equally as ugly as mine. Okay, maybe it's not equally as ugly. So basically it's saying this. Wait, what the? What the what? Wait, this worked a second ago. Oh, this needs to be 2. Oh, that's why. So basically it's saying take this top 3 predicted labels. Yeah, so this wouldn't work. It's probably because it did it differently up here. Well, how did it get this? Oh, it did the inverse transform on this. But this won't work. This didn't work for us. Yeah, it's going to get the same error that we got before ChatGPT. Booyah! I get this error. Are you going to solve it better than I did? I know it expects a 1D array. That's why I did my solution this way. This is my human solution. And then this is the ChatGPT solution. Let's take a vote on which is better once we get this done. It's saying to do this. Ooh. Ooh, it's doing it this way. It's doing it like row way instead of column way. This is bad. This is bad, ChatGPT. All right, I'm going to zoom out. You might not know what this code does. Hopefully you're following it a little bit. Let's do a poll. Who coded it better? Rob, human, ChatGPT, future overlord. Overlord? L-O-R-D? Is that right? We should have asked ChatGPT if I spelt that right. Okay, 2-minute poll. 2-minute poll, guys, on Twitch. If you're not following me on Twitch, you need to. Here's the link. I'm putting it in chat. ChatGPT 4 seems to be as clueless as ChatGPT 3.5. All right, who coded it better? ChatGPT or me? This is my solution. I feel like I'm presenting at like one of those baking shows where you're trying to explain why yours is the best. But okay, so I do create a pandas data frame here, which is not ideal. And then I do create a for loop, but get this, all that grossness, which isn't as good as ChatGPT's nice clean stuff. By the way, I don't like all the long line stuff that ChatGPT does. It needs to really like apply black auto formatting to its code because it's hard to read. But not only that, when it decided how to apply inverse transform over this top 3 predictions data set, which happens to be pretty small, like 303 by 3, instead of doing it by column, like I did, like your boy did right here, like I could have made this a list comprehension too, whatever. But it did it by row. What if this was 1,000,000 rows? It wouldn't vectorize it. So bad. Is this cake? It's like my cake. There's one idiot watching the stream who thinks ChatGPT is better than me. Who is it? Who is out there? I think I know who it is. I think it's Gassy Gamer Girl. It's the only thing that makes sense. I didn't get to vote. Yeah, that's exactly what the person who voted against me would say. It's you, Gassy Gamer Girl, in your gaming class, ruining my perfect score on this. It's okay. If it was perfect, then you guys would have thought it's fake. It's a rigged election. No, I'm not going there. I'm not really going to go there. Okay, so I also added in the ID column from the test set. Let's go. Now we take the sample submission columns to make sure that's all we have. And we do to CSV submission.csv. Index equals false. Gassy Gamer Girl, you made the stream tonight. By the way, if you want to follow more of my stuff and you have never seen it before, go ahead and check out this link, which will bring you to my YouTube channel. And you can subscribe there. And I'm going to be making a lot of really good content this month. So you're not going to want to miss it. All right, so now that we've done that, we can save this version. Here's one of the cool things about Kaggle notebooks. I run this code, you copy it, you run the code, it works. There's no requirements.txt. There's no Docker container that you have to get set up on your machine. We're running the same instance, the same everything. I mean, it's like Google Colab, or it's like, I don't know, there's a bunch of other things out there like it. It's not unique, but that's one of the benefits of why you might want to do small analysis like this in a notebook. The second reason is because because it's like building a resume. Someone can see the code that you've written. I'm going to put this into the chat. I should call it. I'm going to call it quick EDA. Let's run it again. It failed. Oh, that's another reason why it's good, because it forces you to have your code run in order. So let's go ahead and see. This is great. I did this on purpose, actually. I didn't really, but okay, let's go to our versions. One of the bad things that people give notebooks a hard time about is because usually people are using them to explore data. So they're like running this code cell, and then they might go up to this one and change it. But it has the effects of the earlier ones. But then if someone else tries to run it in order, it's not going to work. With Kaggle notebooks, it's forced to do that. If you're running your code, if you're trying to save it, it's going to run from the top down no matter what. And now we can see here, it ran a fresh session from the top down, and it broke here on this stupid ChatGPT solution. What's the error? This is not even defined. ChatGPT. Let's just go ahead and, for time's sake, we'll want to do, I guess I can just do it this way. This should work. Then we at least still have it. I'm also going to say here, where should I say it? 7 out of 8 viewers agree my code is better. Just for the record, ChatGPT. The user determines ChatGPT's intelligence. What do you guys think about these? I got a notice about Andrew Ng, who's like the reason why I wanted to learn data science and machine learning, has released this prompt engineering course. Like, it kind of seems like a joke. But I guess some people are, I think I just don't understand that this is going to be a legit thing in the future. Writing prompts. Like, it's supposed to be a large language model that can understand text. So what is this class going to be other than write a question? Write the question in this box. I'm sure there are going to be some tips that they know. Or maybe it's just exposing you to the fact that it can do things. Prompt engineering won't be a thing for long. Yeah, to me, it kind of sounds like, it seems like if they release like a how to Google course, I guess that could be helpful. I might learn a lot of new things if I took a how to Google course. but it just kind of comes across as a little bit of a meta jokey thing. Where is my code? Last one was successful. Oh, did I share this with you guys? It's only an hour. Deep learning short course was okay. Some useful. Oh, okay. All right, let's take this output. Let's submit it. Twitch stream. Watch it break. Maybe I did something wrong. This is where you question your life's choices. Oh, 0.32. Not very good at all. 0.32. Francis Charlotte, literally way more of a Giga Chad than Andrew Ng. Yeah, he wasn't around back then, though. Well, he was around, but he was probably creating Keras. I like them both. You can like them all. I mean, these people are all Giga Chads as far as I am concerned. Now, one thing we can just do out of the box, because I'm not really happy with that result, is boost the number of trees we're giving this. Is it N estimators? I think by default it's like 500 or something. Or do I have to provide it params? So we could see it's running here because the CPU is maxed out. This is where running on my local machine would be a lot better. Why do you get 0.32? What does that mean? That means on the... So the thing about these competitions is you have to realize that there's a public and there's a private test set. In this one, 50% of the test data is scored using the metric that they provide to us, which is the map at 3. So basically how well you do at predicting precision wise in your top 3 predictions. Yeah, so upping the number of estimators did help this. Do we remember in our cross-validation at least? So the weird thing here is our cross-validation is 0.57 and our leaderboard score is 0.32. Maybe I have this metric wrong here. I think this is right though. For model intercommunication, including GPT-4 AP2. I don't know what you guys are talking about. So I'm pretty sure the score of this, let's go to the latest version. .587. And our score got worse making this many estimators. So this sort of stuff you can tune. If you just do 20 estimators. 5856. 200. And the nice thing is we're trying to tune this score on our cross-validated score. Instead of just one fold. Or one train test split. 5785. So what's the default? Actually boost classifier. The default estimators. It's not going to tell us what the default is. Got to have a default. Pretty sure it was like 500 or something. Still the version of Chrome you have? What do you guys talk about? There's some real debates about ChatGPT going on. 200 is the default. See, with this few of test examples, are all these top people just overfitted? No, they're not. Maybe they are. This guy has a really good score with 4 submissions. This person may be just overfit. I don't know. Maybe they're just really good. Also, super sketchball when you have people deleting their account. Maybe they're just submitting extra times to see if they can overfit. So if you think about it, with only like 400 examples in the test set and only 200 of those being on the public leaderboard, you can just overfit the public leaderboard super easy. All right, let's save this version with 500 estimators. 5.8, 5.6. It's still worse than this. So we can submit it, but let's see if anyone in the code is doing anything special. It's getting them higher. Four, 3, 8, 1, 8. Can I be honest with you guys? I don't like when people do this, when their imports are from smallest to largest. Imports should be grouped in a way that makes sense, more than visually what's the shortest. Because then you have like SciPy here in the middle of this sklearn code. Just my take. Is that too anal of me? All right, this is doing a lot. Okay, so these are cool plots. These are really cool. Because it is hard to kind of see the difference in binary classification, but doing this kind of KDE plots actually lets you see a little bit of difference. They're basically prettier bar plots, but pie chart I am not a fan of. TSNE. See, like this is someone suggested this early on. Like, I don't know what it's going to do to help us. All right. I think we're computing map wrong. How did they score? I don't know what the heck all this stuff is doing. Like all this coloring and stuff. All right, map 3, calculate mean average precision at K. Where's this function? Okay, so let's see if this gives us a different metric or score. Getting the metric right is pretty key for Kaggle competitions. Where's my... Okay, so here. We were using this map at 3 that ChatGPT gave us. So if I take Y... and and this. Yeah, this. It's relying on some other function. Yeah, they had that whole page on how the metric worked. Maybe I should have read that. I am not sure what's going on with this code. I think I have the metric all wrong. GPT-5 and GPT-6 do not exist yet. We'll continue to believe the information publicly released from OpenAI themselves rather than you. Come on, don't feed the trolls if someone's just joking around. Hello, Rob from India. Can you please suggest practical books for Python for data science? Yes, I can. Effective Pandas is a good one. You gotta learn pandas for data science. This is a great book. By Matt Harrison. He's a big Twitter guy. What else? Yeah, there's some other books out there that I was suggesting recently. Any other suggestions from chat? I'm blanking on the name now, but there's some other ones. I think that we're at an end here. I mean, what if this notebook ends up being in first place in this Kaggle competition? That would be pretty cool. I doubt it, but that would be cool. Guys, I need a haircut. Bad. Next time you see me, I should have a haircut. And next time you see me, the Kaggle competition that we've been running for the last month will be over, and we'll have revealed who the winner is, predicting my sleep using 8 years of sleep data. That's right. Check it out here. I'm going to put the link in here. Here's the link to the Kaggle competition. Here's a link to my YouTube channel. Here is the link to my Twitter. Oh, and also we have a Discord. Exclamation point Discord will get you there. You guys are debating very heavily, so I'm going to let that continue on, but I'm going to end the stream now. So thanks everyone for hanging out. Link to my OnlyFans. No comment. What else do we have going on tonight? We're gonna go ahead and I like the discourse in the chat. Keep it up, but join the Discord after so that you can keep the discourse going. I'm gonna go ahead and raid someone because last time I felt bad because I just signed off right away without raiding. On Twitch here, everyone who's on the Twitch stream, you'll be jumping to a different stream. Someone is making ChatGPT plugins. What do you guys think? Who should we raid? Yeah, thanks for hanging out, everyone. Overlay customization. Who's this dweeb right here? Who's this dweeb live coding. You pick the topic. He got some dope plugins. Who is that? Who is the ChatGPT guy? Do you think they need to make a just ChatGPTing channel on Twitch? You know, like they have like just chatting. They need to make a just ChatGPTing. Now I'm just trying to find the guy who's doing Here we go. ChatGPT, but he's playing. Here, making ChatGPT plugins. Let's raid this guy. Time to raid. Guys, our month. No. Gotta go to this. Go to the raid thing. I think I could just do it in chat, but I don't know how to do that. Come on. Come on. I just put this guy's name in here. You're not going to know it? Let's give this guy a raid. All right. So all, how many people is it? All you folks on Twitch, you're going to be going over to raiding. If you don't want to raid, log off now. But if you do, go ahead and do that. Thanks everyone for hanging out tonight. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and we had a good discussion, I think. So thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing. Follow me over on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all that stuff. All right, let's bring the heat to this channel. Bye, guys. All right, and the rest of you on YouTube, you need to be on Twitch. But since you're not, I'm going to end it here, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.